I started teaching myself programming from a very young age. I'd go to internet cafes. I'm giving this context because it matters. It's how it built up towards that moment. Um, I started teaching myself programming, which allowed me to learn about innovation and creating software and websites. And from learning that, it led me to a point whereby in high school, while I was in Kibasila, I used to stay in Tegeta. Bunjus, actually. And now the journey from Tegeta from Bunju to Kibasila is a very long one. And in the end of the day, it entailed me waking up very early in the morning. And at the end of it all, it led to me leaving class very early. I wouldn't stay behind for discussions at Kibasila because I have to rush and fight the daladala conductors to get back. Now, pause that for a bit and remember when I told you that from when I was in primary school, I was a very curious person, right? I would look at things and they would inspire me and figure out how do things work. Now, back to the high school, because I couldn't stay behind for discussions. At some point, I asked myself, what if we didn't have to be in the same place to discuss? What if one student could be here in Kibasila, I would be at home in Boko, and still be able to do the same thing, to discuss. And I know how to program. So let me create a platform that allows for that. So I created that platform, and then it started getting traction. I shared it with a few people, and it took off. And lucky enough, that was noticed because it was the first time the Queen had decided that she was going to award some few young people. And so I got an email that said, you've been nominated for the Queen's Award, and we are now inviting you for an interview. Well, at first I googled it and it was nowhere to be seen because it was the first time that it was being done. And they were very intentional. They said, we are going to do this for 4 years only and we're going to close it up from the very beginning. And so in the end of the day, I sat on a call with them via Zoom, and they asked me a few questions about my solution and everything, and that went well. Then later on, they were like, okay, you have been selected to receive the award from the Queen, so you're gonna have to come to Buckingham Palace in London, get the award, meet the Queen and a few other people. And that was that. And so I went there. So it was a culmination of many different things until we got to that point. And it was mostly about just doing your work, keeping your head down, and also sharing about what you do, because you don't know who is out there that is looking at it, Yeah.
And what impact did that have to you as a person and career-wise?
The biggest one is exposure. It allowed me to be seen by many people, which also grew my network, because then I was able to connect to different people who were interested in what I was doing, and I was interested in what they are doing. And so that helped. But apart from that, it was also a benchmark for me to grow my international network, because there are some people who I met through that I'm still talking to date. It also exposed me to different platforms of networking, right? So that was very useful, and I thank God for that.
Congratulations.
No, thank you.
Yeah. In Tanzania, there are a lot of challenges that can make you fail. No matter how hard you work, no matter how talented you are, you're still gonna fail. For example, we invited you the other day to do a podcast with us.
Yeah.
And we came here. You came from very far away, and we had a very tough time just to get you here.
Yeah.
Then when we reached here, you remember,
Yeah,
no
there's
electricity.
electricity.
Yeah. That was so embarrassing. And it was a challenge that I couldn't believe and I couldn't foresee.
Yeah.
For real, like I was so embarrassed.
Yeah, it happens.
And then I was like, what can I do to to make it over to you, right?
Yeah.
So those are kind of challenges that a lot of Tanzanians face. So in your career, what are the challenges that you have faced here in Tanzania, and how did you overcome them?
So the way I look at it is,
Yeah.
there's a challenge of circumstances,
Yeah.
which is something has happened that you need to deal with.
Yeah.
But that is on the surface level. On the deeper level, it's mostly a challenge of mindset. You need to, you're going to face a lot of challenges if you're stationed in Tanzania.
Yeah.
But facing those challenges isn't the issue. The issue is your mind towards these challenges and how you are going to deal with them. Because challenges will change and there'll be new ones every day. But if you have created a mental fortitude that allows you to deal with these challenges, it's going to be even better. The way you think about challenges matters